Hey, Yuval here, and welcome to my channel, It's Just a Game, where we meet up to discuss all things related to retro game collecting. Whether you're a budding collector or just picking up some of your favorite childhood games, or a master collector with an insatiable passion for collecting every valuable gaming console you can find, keep watching because there's good information here for you. Also, if you find the topics we cover useful and interesting, please hit the like and subscribe buttons below if you haven't already done so, since that is exactly what will help us keep creating good content for you.
In this video, we'll be showing how to clean and restore cartridge-based video games. Before we begin, I need to mention some safety precautions. While these are household products, some of them can still cause eye and skin irritation. The use of gloves is highly recommended, or at least get accustomed to washing your hands with dish soap in between cleanings. Links to all of the products mentioned will be listed in the notes below. Today we're starting out with an N64 cartridge that has new sticker residue, old sticker residue, existing stickers, and also we have some Sharpie or crayon, I'm not sure what that is, and other sticker residue under that. And on the back we have some grime and scratches. So this is not too far gone. This is definitely easy to restore. And we'll just use the methods that I'm normally doing on many cartridges every day to make this look like a brand new cartridge. Label is in very good shape on the front. Not much we need to do here. Label on the back is also just needs a good cleaning. So I'm going to be using various products for this. The first thing I'm going to do is, in some cases, I would want to sanitize before I even touch this. Let's just say I've already sanitized it. The product I use for sanitization is a disinfectant wipe by ArmorAll. Very good product. Once I use this product like this, and I wipe it down just a little bit, I don't want to get it too wet. The key here with any part of the cleaning is that when you wipe something down, immediately use either a napkin, which is less abrasive, or a paper towel, which is a little more absorbent, to immediately dry what you're wiping down. You don't want to keep any type of fluid or wetness or dampness on any part of the cartridge without wiping it down immediately. Otherwise, it gets soaked into the labeling and or anything that you don't want to get removed or damaged. You don't want to have any kind of chemical on the product. Now what we're going to do is, this is just going to be manually removing the sticker carefully. This is just going to be the top part because there are several stickers that have been placed on here over years of the cartridge having been returned to the store and resold, and a new sticker added every time. So anything you can do by hand without any chemical application is recommended. You want to avoid applying chemicals. You want to avoid applying chemicals if you can, and do as much as you can by hand, very, very carefully, without damaging anything underneath. So right here, already it's starting to become a little bit more difficult to just use my nails. So I'm just going to remove as much as I can this way, and the rest I will use a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, which is the alcohol prep wipes is what I use. This is 70% isopropyl alcohol. You don't really need a stronger alcohol for that. In some cases, if you do, I use 91% isopropyl alcohol for that, also known as first aid antiseptic. So these are products that I can't live without when I'm cleaning. So I like the alcohol prep pads because I don't have to pour anything. And again, before you start this, keep a paper towel or napkin handy so you can immediately dry. Now I'm going to apply isopropyl alcohol to the sticker residue and just a very gentle rub. And you kind of feel now it's getting soaked into the paper, and the alcohol is actually inducing a chemical reaction with the sticky residue, and it's loosening it. And it makes it easier to come off once it starts soaking in more. Key here, like with anything that you do, is patience. But it comes off rather easily the more we let it soak. Already I'm seeing a little bit more of a shine and glimmer underneath the residue, and I get a lot of enjoyment doing this, actually. It's very gratifying to see when it works. Mind you, there are some situations where the residue is cured and it's been there for so long that it's very, very hard to loosen, and it takes many more applications of this. And in some cases, I have to use a more potent compound to remove it. For the most part, though, this sticker residue is gone. And since my pad is still wet, I folded in the parts that have the residue, and I might go around the rest of this very gently without touching the label and start working on this side. And that seems to be coming off pretty easily, and you can see from the black, it's getting absorbed into the pad. Hopefully, it will only take one application of isopropyl alcohol to remove the Sharpie. But I have another solution for if there's any more Sharpie residue that is locked within the pores, the top pores of the cartridge. And we can do that. I'm going to give this a nice dry rub here to make sure that my label didn't get absorbed inadvertently. And then I'm going to revisit this here in a minute, do some on the back. I might want another alcohol prep pad for this. Give this a good clean. Be very careful not to wet the back of the label with alcohol, because this will ruin the top layer of film that is over the label. Don't want that to be removed, because then the under side of the label, the actual paper part, will start deteriorating, and then bad things start to happen there with the label. You don't want to ruin a perfectly good label like this. So very careful, and make sure that every time you apply some alcohol, you also apply drying to that application. Do the edges as well. And also the bottom, this is an area that tends to get soiled pretty easily. It's okay if some of the alcohol touches the tips of the cartridge itself, because that's how you would basically use alcohol to clean the cartridge anyway. And it dries rather quickly, so no worries about getting any fluid in there. Just make sure to continuously dry every time you've applied some form of wet application. Now you can see there's still some of that Sharpie that's embedded into the side of the cartridge here, cartridge pores. And a product that I like using for that, removing that part, is Goof Off Adhesive Gunk Remover Gel. An incredible product, very strong. You don't need a lot, very, very little use of this. Just one little dab like that is enough. And using the same alcohol prep pad I just used, I'm just going to very, very carefully apply this, wait a little bit, let it soak in, and the magic happens very quickly. This really just removes any of this residue that's left of this particular Sharpie. I must add that this does not work in all cases. I've seen situations where this application took many, many, many attempts and it still wasn't fully removed. It doesn't remove marker that is literally 30 years old and that has set in deep in the pores of the plastic. Very hard to remove in some cases. This marker has not been here that long. It's been here long, but not 30 years. So this definitely is removable. And using this to dry, and if you look carefully, it is gone. With my remaining pad, I will go and continue to use the edges here. Use this on the edges and immediately dry them. Again, you do not want to touch the label with this product, with any type of isopropyl alcohol. The isopropyl alcohol will destroy these labels and it will start removing the color coats, which is very bad. Do not want to do that. One more pass here on the edges. And give it another try. Now, what I also like to do is to finish this and really make the cartridge look, give her a cleaner and shinier look, is I will use this product, which is ArmorAll cleaning wipes, which is different than the disinfectant wipes. And this product here is excellent because it has a little bit of an oily substance in it. And this one I will use over the labels ever so gently because it will give them a nice shimmer and clean. Just a little bit here and a little bit there, and it'll shine up the whole cartridge, and then immediately with a dry application after this. And what we have is a completed and brand new looking cartridge. And we can look at the back as well. And we're going to look at the sides of it in a minute. Sides here and here. Now, in some cartridges, you may see some residue and gunk inside of the crevices here. So that would be a simple application. What I like to do with that is I will take this pad and I might take a flathead screwdriver and just run it up and down like so to get rid of the gunk that is inside. And I will do the same thing on this side. And again, dry after your application. Same thing here. Same thing here. And this cartridge looks really good. Okay, so now getting to actually cleaning this part of the cartridge, which is the part that the console reads from, obviously, with the multi-pin connector. So the product I love to use for this that I found has worked the best is the 1-Up Cartridge Cleaner, and along with the 1-Up Card Solution. This is a fantastic product. I've tried other competing products and none of them have worked or last as long as this particular product. Highly recommended. And if you wanted to get yours, you can just click on the link below, and you'll thank me that you did, because this is one product that will get a non-working cartridge working within 30 seconds 9 out of 10 times, unless obviously there's another problem that's going on inside the cartridge, and that is information for a different video. How this works, very simple. You have your fluid side, you have your dry side. So what I'm going to do is put this aside for a minute here, using the solution, which is basically isopropyl alcohol. Just get the fluid side a little wet, let it soak in a little bit, and then holding your cartridge straight, the fluid side goes up on top of the part of the cartridge, and it's just a simple back and forth motion with a little pressure. Just doing that. My rule of thumb is maybe I'll count to 20, and then the dry side, you flip it, and that makes sure that it dries it. Why I hold it flat is so that there's no fluid that seeps inside. You kind of want to avoid that. It's not the end of the world if it happens, because it's alcohol, which doesn't damage the electronic components, but it's less prone to moisture, which is a good thing. Flip the cartridge over, fluid side, do the same thing on here. Okay, it's about 20 seconds. 20 seconds here. This cartridge was already in very good shape before I got to it, and I can tell there's no extra residue, there's nothing that looks like it needs any cleaning. You can see that there was some black oxidization that happened, so that picked it up. And this card can be used for many, many applications. I don't even know how many, but I'm gonna say at least 30 without having to replace it. Very good investment, not expensive. Again, you'll find that link in the comments below, in the notes. And feel free to pick up your set of the 1-Up card cleaners.
Well, that's all for today's episode of It's Just a Game. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you're subscribed so you can catch the next cool topics we'll cover. And remember why we love collecting so much, because to us, it's not just a game. Be kind to each other and play nice.